Hi guys, it's Mia checking in from Magic Beans Videos. In today's video, I am going to compare the Silver Cross Jet 2020 with the BABYZEN YOYO2. Now, as is always the case, if you have any questions, you can email us your questions to questions@mbeans.com. You can give us a call at 1-866-600-BEAN, or you can head right over to mbeans.com and sign up for a phone or virtual consultation where one of our really wonderful baby gear gurus is going to walk you through the really wildly full and incredibly diverse world of baby gear. So let's move right along. During our comparison today, we are going to talk about the Silver Cross Jet 2020 and the BABYZEN YOYO2. Both strollers share a good amount of similar features. So both are under 14 pounds. The YOYO2 weighs in right at that 14 pounds. Jet's going to be a little bit lighter. We're at 13.6 here, but the overall feel, the hand feel of both is going to be very, very similar. Both are car seat compatible. In fact, the range of car seats that the two are compatible with is basically identical. You can pair either with any of the Nuna Pippa models. You can pair either with a Kleck Ling or a Cybex Aton M or Cloud Q. They are also very similar in terms of their seat. So when we're talking about the seat orientations, both are going to be world facing only. You lose the ability, to convert this seat rear or world or parent facing. So we are going to be limited there. Now let's talk about how these strollers are unique, where they may vary from one another. So this is the 2020 Silver Cross Jet. The cool thing that happened in 2020 is that Silver Cross made over 60 updates to the Silver Cross Jet in 2020 when compared to the previous year's model. The thing that I really appreciate in a brand is a sort of like thirst to continue to advance and improve their products. And here with Silver Cross, they were really able to take the previous version of the Jet and make those necessary upgrades so that it handled better and was a bit more convenient for our families. The Jet retails starting at $349.99. And so we think that that's like a really accessible price point for something that is capable of everything this stroller can accomplish. So just to speak a bit to its functions, when a Silver Cross Jet comes out of the box, it is newborn ready. So we're able to recline the seat and then immediately deposit a newborn. Yes, I just spoke to the fact that they're car seat compatible, but this fully reclined seat is actually going to be more advantageous for a brand new baby in terms of a safe position, nice posturing in terms of getting great airflow into the lungs and not disrupting the airways. So this is a really great standard feature. There aren't many strollers in our lineup that the standard seat is going to go ahead and be newborn ready without needing any additional pieces or taking a seat off and putting a bassinet on. So we're very happy that this is something that can be triggered for the Jet right off the bat. They did improve the push when it comes to the 2020 version. The rear wheels have a slightly wider distance between one another, and so that helps with the stability and how the stroller feels as though it handles. True to Silver Cross, just their general motto, the textiles are lovely. They're water resistant without looking too synthetic or sporty, and so we definitely appreciate that there. Now I mentioned that it's overhead bin compatible. You may need a travel stroller to achieve that overhead bin capability, but you also may just want something smaller to not take up as much space in your trunk. And so while it's going to be great to speak to the overhead bin compatibility here, these are both also just great travel companions and just lighter weight, smaller strollers to be a nice balance off of like a full-size heavy-duty stroller like a Nuna Mix or a Bugaboo Fox, Napa Baby Vista. So when we're doing the fold here, I'm going to start by lifting up. There's a like very clear red button on the bottom here to indicate to me that that's where the features are going to be engaged. I'm pulling the canopy back just so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. I always pull canopies back. Like it doesn't matter if I'm folding a tiny thing or a big thing. I just want to keep the integrity of the canopy intact. So We accomplished that. I have done the foot part. Now I've got this very clear indicator here where I've got a couple of buttons that I have to push. Now from here, I'm going to use my shape and size to leverage against as I'm pulling the stroller up and folding it. Very cool here in terms of what we're talking about with the overall sort of small, compact shape and size, and the fact that it is going to provide us with a standing fold. So that's incredibly convenient there. And I'm just going to open that up, and then my stroller's coming up for me here, and we give that a little push up. We hear that beautiful lock into place. The Jet can also, aside from being newborn ready, again, which I think is so great, it's a 55-pound weight maximum. So I will talk to parents all the time about when a child outgrows a stroller. And we have to bear in mind that most strollers are going to range from 40 pounds up to like 55 pounds. That's anywhere between a 4 and a 5.5-year-old child. And there's some big mental milestones that children hit at that sort of range in age where they may mentally outgrow or approach outgrowing their baby gear. They're going through this sort of, I'm preparing for I'm pre-K thing where they are a little bit more resistant to their baby things. Well, let me tell you of a circumstance in which children, if they're at that like older age range, 4.5, 5, are still going to sit in a stroller. And that is when you are traveling, my friends. If you're doing Disney, if you are just doing like a very long day at the beach, maybe you live here in the Northeast where we are and you go up to the Lakes region in New Hampshire, rambling like a crazy person, the longer the day, the more likely it is that your child is going to want to rest. And so having a nice high weight maximum, being able to put a child in there for longer is really great if you do imagine your lightweight stroller is going to be a benefit to you when it comes to your actual travel needs. Now, moving on to BABYZEN. So BABYZEN is kind of the foremost authority when it comes to these overhead bin compatible strollers. I'm a huge fan of trusting in a brand that finds one thing and just does it exceptionally well. And when we talk about the fleet of BABYZEN strollers, you are looking at it. They do this one idea, this one product. They continue to be just complete and total pros at this sort of overhead bin compatible, small and mighty single strollers. So the YOYO2, this current iteration, updates over the previous version. We've got a nice leather detail here on the handlebar, and on all 4 wheels, there's going to be individual suspension on all 4 wheels. And so what that means is that we're getting an improved quality of push. We get asked all the time, is there a such thing as a stroller that can kind of do it all? I'm of the opinion you're probably going to own a heavy duty and then a lightweight stroller. But if you really think that you have to have just one very lightweight stroller, then the Yo-Yo really is incredible in terms of its ability to handle daily use, the integrity of its push, its overall stability without having a very high overall weight. So they're a French brand. You really think about the manner in which our design is going to be influenced from sort of our way of life. We think about older places in the world and the ability for a stroller to handle unfinished terrain, brick, cobblestone, things of that nature. So the Yo-Yo is really just proficient at that. I'm rambling, a big surprise, but if you're looking for something that can do it all, this is kind of the closest we get to something small and mighty, really being able to handle and endure daily use. The stroller is newborn ready if you purchase their newborn set. So while on the Jet, we're going to be able to fully recline the seat, with the Yo-Yo, it's a bit more modular. So you are able to newborn ready a Yo-Yo with the purchase of their newborn pack, and then you transition to this stroller as we're seeing it today with its 6-month seat. A feature that I'm not going to demo is the car seat adapter here with the Yo-Yo. It's actually really intuitively designed. You're able to put an anchor onto the stroller, and then the car seat adapters can pop onto and off of the anchor. It's really convenient. Now let's talk about the fold. Now, You'll notice both strollers are going to have a multi-step fold in order to kind of get to this really glorious end result of a small and compact stroller. The fold typically has to be involved enough to the point that it's going to really collapse on itself. So it's difficult to accomplish that and get it as small as we want without at least a couple of steps. Here on the Yo2, I start by collapsing the handlebar on the back. That's going to help us to shrink the size to thirds. There's really clear circular indicators that are going to be on the inside of the stroller on the textile to show you where you're going to head and push the button. And then underneath there's a button, a lever, and a chrome bar that we're going to use to pull the stroller up and have it come down sort of into thirds of its size. I know that on just the amount of words I am saying when comparing the two, the folds can seem complicated. Trust us, they're actually folds that, in spite of needing a couple of steps, feel natural in their motions. So while I am going to be reaching up underneath to start to fold a yo-yo, the process of pulling it up, feeling the weight collapse on itself, it's actually very natural. And one or two go-throughs, on either, you're going to feel like a natural at folding the stroller. So please, if I can encourage one thought, it's not to allow the fold to be too intimidating on either, because you will get a knack for it very quickly. Another important thing about the yo-yo is that once it's folded, this feels very natural to me. This doesn't feel heavy. I don't feel like I'm bearing too much weight on my shoulder. And because it gets as small as it does, my arm is just like naturally resting by my side. And so that may seem, again, we talk about details that can feel insignificant. I consider this to be a big detail because I don't feel in any way, shape, or form labored by the process that this stroller is on my shoulder. And I'm not adjusting my comfort to make space for the stroller under my arm. I just feel pretty reasonable and normal in that regard. And let me make sure my wheels are going to be facing the right way. So when we talk about the open of a yo-yo, there's just going to be a push tab. Then the stroller is going to fold down just based on the weight, gravity, and it being drawn to the floor. Again, if we're comparing the two, there are a ton of similar features between the two. It is going to really be a matter of personal preference in terms of maybe we're looking to keep it under a certain price point, or maybe we would like our stroller to be able to handle daily use in a bit more of an efficient manner. So tough to say which way the scales will tilt for you, but both strollers are incredibly great options for They're both great options for something smaller with a more compact fold. If you have questions about how each can be unique to or benefit your daily use, please email us your questions at questions@mbeans.com. Again, the Jet is going to start at $350. The Yo2 is going to start at $550. Both are available at Magic Beans and on mbeans.com. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. If you have any questions, again, just let us know. We'll be